The humble road cone has spread like an orange disease across large parts of Christchurch since the earthquakes. Now a crack squad, or to be more accurate, two guys in a 2003 Mitsubishi Diamante with a trailer on the back, have been tasked with retrieving the hundreds of cones that have gone astray over the past 6 years. Conan Young went to take a look.
At the peak of the rebuild, up to 50,000 road cones were deployed in the city as the biggest rebuild project the country had ever seen rumbled on. Finding them in places they're not supposed to be is a common experience for most people here, and none more so than taxi driver Moa Jim Hushin.
And before going home, they are not tidying the road cones, so it will be difficult to drive at night. That maybe strong wind. Due to strong wind or any reason, they are very unorganized, and some of them just falls down or toppled over. So,
have you ever had? I've seen a few people after a few drinks, they sort of decide to reorganise the road cones and block off roads. Have you ever had that happen?
Yes, we had that problem as well.
The Stronger Christchurch Infrastructure Rebuild Team, or SCIRT for short, has converted a Mitsubishi Diamante into the Cone Mobile to wrangle the ubiquitous safety markers and bring them all home safely. The agency, which is an alliance between the government and the council, estimates there could be up to 1,000 of them missing across the city. I asked Councillor Vicky Buck about the most unusual place she'd seen a road cone.
There are a lot around Christchurch in very, very unusual places that I suspect they haven't quite gotten there by themselves. So there are many in multi-storey buildings, up very high and in very unusual places. Trees, which is quite unusual, really, yeah. Especially this sort of cones and trees, yeah.
And so, any idea how they got there?
Can't imagine. It wasn't me, I can tell you that.
This could be quite an interesting job, whoever has this job of retrieving these things.
This will be a great job for somebody going out and finding cones, because they're going to find them in the most amazing places. And they're going to find so many of them as well. Yeah.
Look, people, because I have to try and sell this story to a national audience, and my chief reporter in Wellington was saying, why does this matter? But so just tell me why this matters in Christchurch.
So cones have sort of become part of the sort of personality of Christchurch in the last 5-6 years, because there are so many. I mean they have literally taken over over the city, and they are they've kind of been personified in lots of ways. So there are lots of stories about cones on Facebook everywhere, and they've kind of developed their own personality, which is kind of part of the city. I know that sounds incredibly weird, but hey, it's Christchurch.
So, I mean, in what ways have sort of people I guess, adopted these cones?
Well, for example, I started putting up some Facebook posts about cones, and now there is just like a never-ending supply of them, where people have got these cones talking to each other and creating sort of cartoon-like situations for cones. So, yeah, in some ways we're going to miss them.
SCIRT's head, Ian Campbell, says a dedicated team has been entrusted with the important task of bringing the cones home.
Typically we'll have a couple of people in the car, one obviously driving and one spotting and picking up the cones.
And so how long is this going to take?
Oh, we're doing it for about a month. We feel that should be enough. If the cones manage to elude us for that long, then they probably are well hidden.
And so why is this necessary?
A couple of reasons. One, of course, the cones are worth a bit of money. They cost about $60 each. And it makes sense to keep on using them. But secondly, it's all part of us, coming towards the end of our program and wanting to tidy up after ourselves and just take everything that we put on the streets and put it away.
And you might need some waders.
The people picking up the cones might need some waders, yes. But we'll make sure they enter the streams in a responsible manner.